Right now, Newport News police are investigating a shooting. It happened around 5 o'clock this morning on 35th Street. Police tell us someone shot a 28-year-old man as he walked near Wickham Avenue. Emergency crews took the victim to the hospital, and he is expected to be okay. If you have any information, call the crime line. And Newport News police say the area of the shooting is of very high concern, so they're reaching out, working with the community to prevent violence.
They're in fact hosting a community engagement session today, and they want neighbors to join the conversation. 13 News Now reporter Megan Shin is in the studio to tell us a little more about this meeting. Megan.
Dan, Christina, the meeting is called the Building Better Futures Initiative. It begins tonight at 5:30 at the Down and Gross Cultural Arts Center. And it's the first of 2 meetings the city of Newport News will have to open the discussion about violence in the community.
It's like Christmas in July.
Anthony Tucker lives on 35th Street. This morning he woke up to police investigating the shooting of a 28-year-old man.
How'd you feel when you saw that?
I said, it's happened again.
Again, a sentiment felt by many neighbors in the Newport News community. This violence unfolding less than 2 miles away from where city leaders will meet with community members about the growing problem.
Because we can't do it without the community.
Miranda Eccles is the city's youth and gang violence prevention manager. She says the Building Better Futures initiative is funded by City Council. The goal of the program is to open conversation and find solutions to end violence.
We want to inspire hope. We want to be able to provide an opportunity. We want every citizen to feel like that they're safe.
Eccles says now is the time to make the change.
It's something that everybody is passionate about, whether they have been affected directly or indirectly, and our new police chief is really engaged in what's happening in the community.
That engagement starts with the youth, which is why people at the meeting will also talk about youth and gang violence for people 12 to 25 years old. The brainstorming will turn into a 3 to 5 year prevention plan.
Importantly, it will be something that they can hold us accountable for.
Tucker says hiring more police officers is his safety solution, but he feels skeptical.
But making it work is a whole different thing.
Eccles says the meeting and planning will make the city follow through on ideas like Tucker's.
So the creation of the strategic plan and bringing everybody engaged and bringing everybody a part of the process is going to give us all ownership.
And the second meeting is on August 21st from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. That'll be at the Denby Community Center. For more information on it, go to our website, 13newsnow.com, and click on this article. In the studio, Megan Shin, 13 News Now.